Master, dinner is served. Igor, it's not that I don't appreciate the effort, but you know I prefer my meals uncooked. And how many times have I told you about using garlic? Yes, Master. Forgive me, Master. Please. Bite into Paradelphia. Thursday nights at 8, only on Toxic Radio. Paradelphia, because what if it's all true?
Guess what? Toxic Radio is going on a road trip.
Westbound and down, 18-wheeler rolling.
November 7th, we're crossing the river into Philly, and there's gonna be a party. Why a party on a Sunday in November, you may ask? What, are you new here? It's a football tailgate at Lincoln Financial Field for the Birds and Bolts matchup. Come out to see the Toxic Radio crew for fun, prizes, freebies, and shenanigans. Toxic Mike, Super Dave, John Evans, Mr. Entertainment, the Godfrey, and Gene Walzak from the brand new Birds Deep podcast. Jimmy Page, Nicki Minaj, Martin Sheen, Kim Kardashian, Rover from Sesame Street, Rob Zombie.
Whoa! What the hell was that?
Oh, I don't know. Sorry.
That's it. No more coffee for you.
Fair enough.
So just the people from Toxic Radio, right?
Right. Got it.
Okay. Proceed.
And we might even get a special live performance from Supreme de Resurrecta. So join us at noon, Sunday, November 7th in Lot N, right across from Jetro. Don't do your tailgate safe. Do it toxic.
Robert England here, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Check it out or die slow.
Hey, this is Kel Mitchell, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Uh-oh, it's getting toxic.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison from the President Steve Show, and you're listening to Toxic Radio. Get infected like you would with a cheap hooker.
What's up, everyone? It is your favorite time of the week. It's time to take it deep. We got some exciting stuff for you. And I'm going to have to get real with you today. So if you don't like that, you can just fuck off. But with that being said, if not, hang out with me and get comfortable with all two of my listeners. With that being said, Mike is here. We got Tyler in the building, Blast from the Past.
Right behind me.
And we got some stuff to talk about. It's going to get real. I've been thinking about what I talk about on the show, and I'm going to change it.
It's going to get real. It's going to get deep.
It's going to get real. It's going to get deep. It's going to be one of those shows where if you don't like to hear inconvenient truth, then you might as well not listen anymore, and I can give 3 fucks if you don't, because I'm paying for it anyway.
Wow. That's a bright way to start your show. Guess what? If you don't like it, don't listen. I don't care.
It's true. Until you start paying for my show, you don't have input.
That is true.
So that's all I got to say about that. Now, with that being said, just to break up the seriousness, I got Mike queuing up a video. TikTok has been mesmerizing me lately, and I could probably go like a half an hour at a time and just watch all the videos on there. I know it's crazy, but it's this right here. It's on Facebook, but I found it on TikTok, and this mesmerized me. But kind of feeling like she is today, and if I could illustrate it for my audience at home before we hit play, she's wearing leggings. A little bit too small for her. She's proud of her belly. Good for her. I love to see that kind of confidence. And she's very passionate about her chicken and how it should be seasoned. And I'll describe her. She is a large, I don't know if I would call her large, but she's a white woman that is, let's call her large. That's okay, but she's proud of it. She doesn't give a shit because if she did, she would cover up that belly.
Yeah, she's proud.
She's proud. She's confident. And the way she talks about this chicken, she's pretty confident. So fire off, Mike, when you're ready.
It's not like I'm offending anybody, all right? I'm just simply saying I come out here to see you prepping the chicken, and this is the flavors? Salt, pepper, and onion powder. I'm not going to eat it. There's no flavor in this house. I asked for hot sauce, and all you got me was ketchup. I can't ever go to Flavortown. I can't enjoy my dinner. I'm done. Stop the films. Seriously. I'm not eating chicken with salt and pepper on it. So
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. That just took the seriousness right out of me. But we're going to get serious. That lady's serious about her chicken. Is she not?
I mean, she's not wrong either. I mean, ketchup is not hot sauce.
She looked exhausted by the lack of flavors.
Ketchup is not. Anybody who thinks that ketchup is hot sauce, you're wrong.
What about hot sauce and ketchup mixed together?
You're talking about spicy ketchup. It's not hot sauce and ketchup mixed together. It's spicy ketchup.
I mean, what about sriracha ketchup?
Spicy ketchup.
Okay.
It's not hot sauce ketchup. It's spicy ketchup.
Laura, what you're looking at is exceptional. I don't know what the fuck that is, actually. But anyway, listen. I'm a citizen of Flavortown. That's true. So we're going to get serious today. You know, I've been seeing a lot, been kind of inspired by Jon Stewart coming back. Watched his show on Apple TV. You know, I hear a lot of people talk. I see a lot of people see things. And, you know, I go to share stuff on Facebook, and I thought they should always do this. I don't know if any of you have noticed, however, on Facebook, when you go to share something now and you haven't read the article, asks you, do you want to share it because you haven't read it yet? Has anybody noticed that on Facebook? Are there any boomers listening? That's who uses Facebook now.
I'm not a boomer, am I?
Close enough. So do you use Facebook?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, the funny
have you
thing
shared anything recently?
Of course. I mean, I just shared your show.
That's not an article, though.
Actually, just for the first time was I asked somebody to message me on Facebook, and she had told me that she doesn't have a Facebook and that only old people have Facebooks.
I've known that forever. I've known that forever. My niece and nephews don't use it at all. Tyler's much younger than us. You know, his preferred communication really wasn't Facebook. He prefers Twitter himself. That might have changed.
Dropping into those DMs.
Yeah, but he would communicate with me on it just for necessity. That being said, people share a lot of things, and I feel like Facebook makes people like a quarter smart, and they're like 75 cents away from being smarter than they actually are for the whole dollar they think they have in their brain. And what I'm bringing up is there's a lot of stuff I see lately. Should we tax the rich? The supply chain? This, that. It's American only. You know, like we think we're the only ones that exist. Everybody else is having a problem around the world. So let's get into specifics here, right? So I'm going to set everybody on fucking fire today, and I really don't care. Is inflation real? Yes, it is. But are we going to still fall for the old boomer whatever ideology that the reason why inflation has gone up is because of government spending? Nope. That's what your grandpappy told you. He's full of shit, and so are the people there before. Sorry. It's not. The reason why inflation's gone up is the supply chain is fucked up around the globe. 100% that's what it is. Has nothing to do with government spending. If that was the case, it would just be inflation in America. If you look at Spain, they're going through a lot of inflation over there. If you look at several countries, there's inflation in a lot of areas. If you look in Europe, there's an energy crisis because they need it for farming, and they rely a lot on Chinese coal. So, is that uniquely American? It's not. But we have a penchant as Americans to think that we're the only ones that exist on the fucking planet Earth. And that's a problem, right? Because a lot of you need to go shine off your passport or actually get one and go outside the country and see the perspective from other people and culture yourselves. Because, you know, a lot of you like to live in your small world of SpaghettiOs. Sorry, maybe that was a shot, but it's true. So, inflation is real. Prices are going up. And unfortunately for any president that's in, Democrat, Republican, Biden, Trump, whoever, it's going to look bad on you because you're the guy sitting in the chair. Is it necessarily your fault? No. So the thing that I'm going at with here is why is it so high? You know, why do so many people fall for that ideology? What I'll say for you is ignore the convenient truth or culture war grifters that are out there. What is a culture war grifter? Well, that would be someone who sits on the sidelines and makes content such as myself, but they play on culture war. They don't talk about real things. They just fan the flames of the culture wars out there. I feel like culture war has been going on for 10 plus years. Do you feel that way, Mike? Has it been going on for a long time? Like little stupid bullshit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Christmas is getting taken away, this and that. And we have to make these bullshit issues that
But
don't really mean anything, and it distracts from real things.
But what the bullshit issues are for is for the people that are bored, the people that don't have things going on in their lives. It's the same exact reason why individuals are so enthralled with reality TV. It's controversy, it's drama, it's something that keeps them motivated to keep living.
You may be right. I think
100% that they create the controversy.
I think
because
that
it
they
gives
have,
them purpose. It gives them a side to be on.
I think they have the attention span of a house pet gerbil, and that's why.
But that too, it's the attention span and trying to create something that keeps their attention, but also gives them a purpose. That's why, like, you know, with individuals like Dave Chappelle and cancel culture, and I'm not just going for the LGBTQ, I'm going even before that, just the housewives that used to, you know, have nothing to do all day, so they would find things to get together with the other housewives to complain about.
So the thing that kind of inspired this, I saw people share some articles, and Elon Musk started crying about being taxed. Guys like that, I don't fucking care for. And I'm going to tell you why. I think Elon Musk makes great products, possibly. I'm going to tell you why I don't care for guys like that. Because he's full of shit, and he's gaslighting you. Oh, I don't want to pay my taxes. Is that really fair? And then some of you say, well, I know how he feels. I'm going to be a millionaire. As if while you're being the cuck of the week, yanking off in the corner, and you're going to shoot out your first million out of your little penis. Guess what? That's not going to happen. You're not making $1 million. Maybe you do, and I hope you do. But most people that are American, it takes about a lifetime to make 1.7 million. So here's the thing. No one's suppressing you. But here you are, fighting for the rich, pulling out your meaningless fucking pitchfork, and it doesn't mean shit. Because I'll see people go, well, they shouldn't tax him. Well, let's look deeper into that. Why shouldn't they tax him? Because he didn't pay taxes in 2018? Interesting. Well, he didn't pay taxes in 2018, but then people will say, well, Matt, you know, people say that like he pays regular tax. Well, he did pay taxes, but he paid a tax rate of 3.27%. Do I get to pay 3.27% on my income? Fuck no. I can't even take anything out of my 401k without getting hit with a 10% penalty. But this asshole can go buy an island and hide it on there like he's Scrooge McDuck. But everybody wants to come to his aid. Oh, poor Elon. He loves Dogecoin. Fuck that. People are just so gaslighted, and they just take whatever they want to be told. It's a convenient truth. They want to believe it. They want to be like, oh, I'm just like him. They're trying to keep me down. No one's trying to keep you down. You just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So let's go through it. You know, a lot of people will say that Elon Musk shouldn't be taxed. Well, he paid zero in income taxes in 2018, right? So I'm going to go into that. There's an article on Business Insider, right? Let's talk about that. So Elon Musk's wealth grew by $14 billion from 2014 to 2018, but he only paid $455 million in taxes according to a new report. Now, some of you say, "Whoa, that's a lot of money." Well, stop comparing it to your measly $60,000 a year, and then you'll understand that it's way more. Because a lot of you do that. You're not the same. You're fucking not, and you need to hear that. You're not special. You may be a janitor. I appreciate you, and I do some meaningful work too. Not to demean anybody, but you're not Elon Musk. So you really need to stop comparing your little rinky-dink bank account to his and saying like, "Oh yeah, they're really screwing him." Come on, yeah. Oh, when it comes to Elon, he's going to do better things with his money than the government can. After all of the red tape, he's a rare exception. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to disagree a lot. He paid a 3.27 tax rate. Okay, so the true tax rate is less than a tenth. That's a tenth of 37 he would need to pay if his wealth was considered income. But since he's rich, his wealth isn't considered income. If I go make $5,000 on a little side project, I'm paying tax on it, and then I got to take a risk. Now, if it's over $600, the IRS might be able to sweep my bank account and find out. Not for this jerk off, though, right? So I don't really think it's different. And I'm going to tell you why. He took government money. And if you're going to take government money and then say, I don't want to pay taxes, isn't that kind of like having your cake and eat it too? What do you think, Mike?
So I've been paying attention to this kind of stuff, and I don't think you're 100% accurate with what you're saying.
As far as?
As far as the taxation of the super, super, super rich, or even just the regular rich, for that matter, when you get to a certain status quo with your money, when you're inside the billions especially, or hundreds of millions, those people understand how to work the system. whereas like even Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos don't.
So wait.
Don't.
That system should be something that people can participate in besides just that.
Actually,
right?
we can participate in
So
it.
you can get 4.9 billion.
No,
in
listen.
subsidies?
No. The system goes like this.
Show me how, please.
The system goes like this. Bezos only takes, I think, like what 60,000 a year from Amazon. Elon Musk takes 0 from his company because their money isn't in actual salary. They're not getting paid a salary.
Does that make it right?
They're getting paid through assets and
right.
and
That's how the rich get around it. But does that make it right?
Actually, it does because they're working within the system.
So can you do that with your 401k?
Because they're working with, yes, I could take out all the money in my 401k
you get taxed 10%.
and put it into some other means, whether it's the stock market or assets that are going to pull in more money
But you
that go
can't
back
cash it
into
out.
it. What do you? I can't cash out my
without
what?
paying a 10% penalty.
Right, because you're going through you're going through what is called a 401k.
But you're still putting money into a physical 401k, maybe either being matched by the employer or not. Their way of doing that is not. When you have different assets where it's stock and things of that nature, you can borrow against it.
Right, you can borrow against it. You
Okay.
can get a
So-
you can get go to a bank and get a life insurance policy where you can borrow against that.
Here's the
which
thing.
is what a lot of people
I
do because
don't fault the rich for doing that.
That borrowed money, like you just said, cannot be taxed because it's not your money. Even though it is your money, you're borrowing against your money, and you don't get taxed on that. What they have done is they have beat the system at their.
They haven't beaten the system.
They have.
No, they haven't. They haven't. They molded the system to be beneficial to them. If you think that these guys don't influence politicians, you have your head in the sand. They made the system so they can take advantage of the system. They're not using the system as it naturally sits, because if that was the case, this wouldn't have happened. Laws have been changed. I'll give you an example. Let's turn back to history books and go to Dwight D. Eisenhower. How much was the corporate tax rate under Eisenhower? Take a guess.
I have no idea.
The tax rates were as high as 90%.
Well,
they can't even agree on 15% right now. Do you know why? Because they spend billions, the lobbyists, to prevent that from happening. If you go to Europe, Apple has to pay taxes over here. They don't pay taxes here. Do you know why? Because they said, fuck you, Apple. You're not doing that anymore.
But what I'm saying is, yes, the system might be rigged, but we as poor individuals, middle-class individuals, whatever you want to call us, have the same ability to utilize that system for our own personal gains.
Really?
We absolutely do.
So
They're
I have
doing it
enough
at a
money
higher
where I
scale.
can borrow and it doesn't affect my credit. I have enough cash. The average person does not have the same opportunity. That is such a misnomer.
If you have $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 saved.
We're not talking that much. We're talking big mega dollars.
No, but I'm saying if you have that small amount, in the grand scheme of things, extremely small amount compared to the big mega dollars, you 100% still can take that money and invest it or put it into a life insurance policy that you can borrow against. You can 100% still beat the system on our low level. It's just not going to be on the mega level that they're at.
But see, that's the problem. If you're going to reap the benefits from the system, you should want to pay back into the system. You can't have your cake and
So
eat it
now
too.
you're talking about two different things.
No,
you're talking about
connected.
You're talking about the individual need, want, or obligation to pay back into the system, rather than the fact that rather than they have the abilities more so than we do. We have the same capabilities. We all work within the same system. We all can do the same thing.
You do not work within the same system. You do not work within the same system as Elon Musk. That is such a misnomer. You do not. You do not have the same opportunities he does. You can read that on paper and believe that all you want, but when it comes to the fucking bank account, that's not the truth. It's simply not.
I could go take all
Just like someone who has an 800 credit score versus someone who has a 550 credit score, the opportunities that you have are going to be exponentially different when it comes to a car loan and things of that
100%. But when we're talking about our ability to manage our money, save our money, put our money in certain areas to be able to access it in certain ways, we absolutely do have the same ability. They're doing that at a higher scale.
I want you to pause that thought for a second. Elon Musk, right? This is from 2015. And I like Elon. I think he's a funny guy, but he is the richest guy in the world. He flip-flops between him and Jeff Bezos right now. All right? there's a certain morality that people need to have, and this is the problem that exists in our country, why people are so fucking pissed off. They need to have empathy, and empathy means you need to be a good boss. And the reason why a lot of people are having trouble finding people to work is because they don't want to work for your asshole, shitty personality anymore. Not you, Mike, but people in general. And that's why people have trouble finding people right now, because, you know, they're like, fuck it, I'm not dealing with it. So when I look at Elon Musk, I don't know if he's that guy or not. But if you don't want to pay taxes to pay back into the system, and you benefit to the tune of $4.9 billion, and you're going to tell me it's part of the system, I'm going to say, Elon, you can eat my ball bag. Because Los Angeles entrepreneur Elon Musk has built a multi-billion-dollar fortune. This is in 15, by the way. No, right? So this is years ago. He's gotten even richer. And congrats to him. Running companies that make electric cars, sell solar panels, and launch rockets into space. He's built those companies with the help of billions in government subsidies. That's right. Tesla Motors, Solar City Corp, and Space Exploration Technologies, known as SpaceX, together have benefited from an estimated $4.9 billion in government support, according to data compiled by The Times. The figure underscores a common theme running through his emerging empire, a public-private financing model underpinning long-shot startups. So, he definitely goes where the government money is. So here's the thing. That government money, is it only assigned to a certain sector of people? Or is it because they have helped influence it that the money gets going to other places besides benefiting the middle class? Because he's not the only one, nor is he the first one, nor will he be the last one. But my thing is if you're going to cry about paying taxes and then you're going to make money off of government subsidies, you are 100% a hypocrite. Whether he's better than the government at doing certain things or not, I'm not here to debate that. But when you have $400+ billion, I'm sorry, $288 billion, how much fucking money do you need? You know, I'm tired of, you want to know why our supply chain's messed up? Do you know why it is? Do you ultimately know why it is? What started that?
There's a lot of things that worked towards making it the way it is.
Let's go to the root of it.
You know, pandemic, people not being able to work, people staying home, people not wanting to work for low wages, people finding other jobs, other means to make money.
Let's go go way before that.
Go ahead.
This might even be before you had hair on your penis. Listen, so I often hear about, you know, people being patriots and people putting country before party, putting their country before themselves. And it seems like after World War II, kind of went out the window. What I mean is this. The supply chain is fragile because the supply chain is out of this country. How did that happen? How did that eventually end up? How did all those jobs matriculate to being overseas? Well, because we want to use free market capitalism, also known as crony capitalism, to the benefit of a few people. So the thing is the way capitalism is supposed to work is you make money, it goes back into the system, you spend money, it goes back into the system, you make more shit, people buy it, commerce keeps moving, and things move on. Wages go up, people build for themselves by hard work, saving, and doing the things they need to do to move up, you know, in their life individually. But when we take jobs and put them overseas, the pandemic has exposed the fragility of the supply chain because a lot of stuff's coming from China. It's coming from countries where these ultra-rich people that get these subsidies and these tax breaks, and the system may be what it is, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that they didn't influence the system. I know 100% for a fact they did, so they can go ahead and do that. Now, they care about their
I don't
family.
know if they did. Other individuals might have.
Absolutely they have.
But
you don't think they influenced NAFTA?
But just because Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk are now in a system that was influenced by others before them to be able to get these breaks and these subsidiaries, like, they shouldn't take advantage of them?
Okay, so should you take advantage of people?
What do you mean, should you take advantage of people?
He had to be shamed into paying people $15 an hour 3 years ago by Bernie Sanders. He was paying people $10, $11 an hour to work at Amazon, and he's the richest man on earth. They pay more at Costco, and that guy doesn't even hold a fucking he's not even close to how rich – he's rich, but not even close to how rich Jeff is. My point is, it's to me, it's exploitation. They had to be shamed into it, okay? They don't want to let – and you've dealt with unions yourself.
But at the same token, I'm of the sound mind that if that individual didn't want to get paid that amount – then that individual has to work to not make that money.
Okay.
What
if there's no jobs?
No employer should be shamed to pay anybody.
Of course
anything.
they should.
No,
Of
because
course they should.
Here's the whole thing.
Not you're not the same. We're not talking about toxic radio here. We're talking about mega rich.
No, it doesn't
Walmart
matter.
And
I don't care.
It should matter.
It
Why
doesn't
shouldn't it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Why?
If you've got employees that are going to work for the wages that you're paying, you put out there and say, I am hiring for this much money. Somebody shows up and says, I want a job. They go through the interview process and you say, the job pays this. And you look at them and say, thank you, sir. That is an agreement between the worker and the employee, the employee and the boss, the company, as to what your wage is. You can't then be hired by that company and complain that the wage isn't enough.
So, all right, so me as an American taxpayer, should I have to subsidize the cost of people that are on welfare because they don't want to pay a living wage for a 40-hour-a-week job?
The person should be getting a better job, bettering themselves.
So you're saying that
to
exists?
go out there and do something.
So that exists everywhere.
And if everybody
in Tupelo, Mississippi, there's a bunch of jobs.
If nobody was taking those jobs because they weren't paying enough, just like they're doing now, they're doing it now because the government started giving them all that money.
That's been done for 2 months.
No. That was done for a long time, where they were getting unemployment plus $600.
It's been over since September.
But what I'm saying is, when they started getting that money and getting their tax return and getting all the extra money, that's when they all of a sudden were like, I don't want to work for this low wage.
I think you're kind of out of touch here. I'm going to tell you why.
I don't think I am.
You're completely out of touch.
I don't think I am.
There's a reason why.
Take self-responsibility.
No, they are taking self-responsibility. I'm going to tell you why, and you're not really looking deeper into it. You're having a shallow look at it. The reason why people aren't returning to these other jobs and these bullshit jobs is because they're going to use the gig economy. They're going to go deliver Grubhub. They're going to go drive Uber Eats for $15 an hour. And people want to pay $10, $11, $9 an hour. People aren't fucking trying to hear that shit. It's not government money. It's about time versus dollar. The dollar for hassle ratio.
That's the way it should be. You look at your situation that you are in with the employer that you went to work for. If you do not like the situation you are in, then yes, go do Grubhub, go do Uber Eats, go do something else. And then the more that people walk away from those jobs that are paying small wages, the more they're going to look around and go, fuck, I've got to do something.
So let me ask you a question. Sometimes people do that, but does that opportunity exist evenly across the board in the United States? I'm not saying it should, but does it?
I think it does if you're looking for it.
So you're telling me you live in the Philadelphia area, the amount of jobs that are available versus being in bumfuck Mississippi are the same?
Yes, because if you're in Philadelphia,
you must have never been in Mississippi in your life, man. It is definitely not the same.
I think
can tell you from
there's manufacturing in every single city.
That's not nearly as much as there used to be. If you're going from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and a slight increase in the mid 2000s, so you're going to move all the way.
Move to where the jobs are.
Okay, so did you move to where the jobs are?
I would if I was living somewhere where there were no jobs.
Okay.
Just like if you were living somewhere.
Everybody has the ability to move to the Northeast where all the jobs are at. And
guess what?
California.
If you're living somewhere and you hate the heat and it's hot all the time.
But listen, we're not.
You can't sit there and complain about the heat. You move to where it's not hot.
But my question is, you have such a strong ideology about that. Why is it okay for then this billionaire to get $4.9 million of subsidies that was already a billionaire?
Again, he's going through the system that is already in place.
So why can't the people go through the system that's in place to take the money from the government?
Again, they can. I'm not saying they can't. Go for it. Take the money. If the money's there on the table, take it.
So why is it any different, right?
I'm not saying it is any different. You're zigging. You're going weird ways.
No, I'm telling you that it cancels each other out. My point is, if you're an ultra billionaire, I'm not saying tax them this obscene amount or who they are, but I got to tell you, the people that care are the billionaires. Now, when you have a certain amount of money, you have so much money, it doesn't even matter. Now, am I saying they should give it away? But no. When you negotiate, you go high, then you go low. So it might not be as high. And by the way, here's some news for you folks out there that want to defend these rich people. The fucking bill's not going to go through anyway. They're not going to get it done anyway. It's not going to happen because they pay their campaign contributions. And that is a fact. And it will not happen. The bill won't happen. But the only time that a tax bill will go through is when it benefits those people, which it did in 2016. Example, school teacher can't write off supplies. Buy a Learjet, you can write that off. I guess that's America for us. That's democracy at work, right? Seems even to me. Yeah. Hey, school teacher, you want a notebook? Nope. Go fuck yourself. You're going to have to pay for it. Fake preacher, Learjet, Yeah, we're on board.
If you're not happy with your situation, where you are, what you're making, your job,
But Mike,
your
it's not
boss,
that simple. Everybody's
go
not made
do
that way.
something about it.
Not everybody's not made that way. You have this idealistic
So
libertarian
is
bullshit
it everybody
view.
else's fault that
No.
people aren't made that way?
But it's not everybody else's fault that some guy takes advantage of the system, and I don't have to. I have to.
Why
pay
is it
taxes.
called taking advantage of the system?
Because
if the
he
system
is.
made that way.
No, it's not made that way. It's fucking fractured, and it's developed that way unhonestly. I can show you bill after bill.
I'm not saying it wasn't made that way.
So if
honestly.
they did it not honestly, listen. If we're gonna let the market be the market and let the customer decide, I'm gonna give you some great examples here. Let's say oil is your choice of energy. Let's say solar power is one person's choice of energy. So should one get a subsidy over the other to keep it afloat, or should we let the consumer decide who wants it more by purchasing it?
I couldn't tell you which way would be the better way. I'm going to go with whatever way is in place.
But what will work for you as a consumer, right? That you're going to be able to choose what works for you, right?
Okay.
So why should subsidies be handed out to oil companies when they're extremely profitable? Gas is through the roof. Why should we be paying subsidies? Why not invest in education?
I'm not saying that anything is right or wrong. I'm not saying that we should be paying, that we shouldn't be paying. I'm saying that we shouldn't be going against the corporate individuals, the billionaires.
Individual is not a corporation; it's an entity.
Haha.
They can't vote.
Okay, going against the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musks, the anybody who's an owner of a company, because they are utilizing the abilities and whatever kind of assets that they have at their disposal to use to make themselves grow bigger, better, stronger, more rich. You can't fault them, because Godfrey, if tomorrow you found out that you inherited $10 million and all of a sudden you could do whatever you want, and they tell you, Godfrey, you hire somebody to handle your money, an accountant, the accountant starts showing you all these loopholes that'll help you to double that money, you're going to say, yeah, do that. If he's going to tell you, Godfrey, this is where you put your money so that the government
gotta
can't
zoom
take
in.
from
You're
it.
going too wide here. No one's saying that someone shouldn't make an investment. See, this is where people get confused. No one's saying someone shouldn't make a profit or make an investment if it's legal to do it. But where is the moral compass? Is there any?
No, that's why
There's
it's
not.
business.
No, really, there's no moral compass
If
in
you're
business.
talking about money and making more money, of
so
course
everything is wiped off the board as okay, as long as you're making more money.
in terms of playing the market, playing the.
But that's not what we're talking about.
What are
here.
you talking about?
There's infrastructure this country needs. We have potholes all over the road. We have bridges falling apart. We have education that's gone below. We have a lot of jobs that people don't have because for the tune of making your 9 over your 8 billion, they're like, okay, let's do this. Let's
Well,
tweak
that's
this
money
in.
management.
Okay, money management by who? The corporation making that decide? Listen,
But you're painting with an extremely broad stroke, because then that goes into funding of this place, funding of that place. That goes with the whole idea in some aspects of
So the
teaching,
middle class
of
should pay more taxes
that
overall.
goes into the whole thing of like teaching and mental health and everything. When they were talking about defund the police, where they're saying take the money out of this area and put it into this area so that we can build up our neighborhoods and our cities and our streets. Like it is such a broad stroke in terms
listen,
of where they're putting that money. If you're talking about potholes
if I have
and
a
everything.
401k and I make money, and if I have capital gains, it's a lot easier for these people to get around it. If you're going to make money off of that system, and they do, I mean, I'm going to ask you, what do you think made people the most rich during 2020? What do you think? What do you think?
I don't know.
Hedge funds.
Okay.
So does the common person have the ability to take care of hedge funds? You know how they made money on hedge funds? Things like Robinhood, where you had a commission-free trade.
Yeah,
and they were just selling.
But I mean, with GameStop, you put in just a small amount of money, and if you sold at the height, you made a ton of money.
But it's funny you brought that up, though.
Okay,
but the billionaires didn't like that were hedge fund managers when that was happening because they all bet against that stock.
Right. Then
illegally stopped the trading.
Right.
Looks like the system's rigged. They put a break on it because they couldn't pay the bets. So this is my problem, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
If you lose, you lose. But if you're rich and you lose, you get to stop the bleeding. If you're not, you don't. And that's the difference here. GameStop is the perfect example. They were losing because they were shorting GameStop for years, and it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Mad Money Kramer will tell you all about it, and he said they deserved it because then everybody got all the data together. Like you said, they got together, pulled themselves up, got into a Reddit group, made an investment, and it started shooting through the roof. Then they're like, oh, no, we can't trade this anymore. So don't sit here and tell me.
Right, because they were going to go broke, yeah.
No, because they have to pay the bets that they made,
right,
just like the other guy does. So again, tell me how the rich don't do that. Tell me how guys don't get to get around the taxes. That's an exact example. You just shot yourself in the foot.
The guys do get to go around the taxes.
No,
I told you that.
No, but here's the thing. If they went by the law, the law isn't for them. With GameStop, they were losing their ass because these firms bet against, when you short a stock, you're going 2 for 1. You're losing twice on it when it doesn't go your way. So they were losing their fucking shirt when a $9 stock shot up to like 120, and I thought it was awesome. I didn't make any money off it personally, but I know some people that did. I know some people that lost money that are involved in a lawsuit. You know, and yeah, all systems are rigged. That's America. I agree. That's nihilism. That's how they want us to feel. That's the thing. That's an exact example. So you're telling me to do what they did, take advantage of the loophole, and then it was like this. There's the rug right out from under you. You can't have the loophole. What happened there? I was working hard.
But wasn't that the case of the company itself? What was it again? The company, say it again. Robinhood. Wasn't that the case where Robinhood, has to pay out? And if they were to pay out, they would have gone into bankruptcy. So it's like
no, because they had funding from Citadel was involved. They had funding and they got it backed up. But again, that's their problem, not my problem. I made the bet. You pay the bet. It's not my fucking problem. Use your loophole right off the taxes.
If it was illegal, wouldn't they have gotten sued? And
they are getting sued.
Okay, so then the system works. You do something illegal, you get penalized.
So little Joe over there that made like $5,000, he gets fucked out of it because they turned the trading off. But this guy's sitting up there like.
But you're saying they're beating the system and doing illegal things. But if you do illegal things,
if you let capitalism,
you get pulled to the carpet for illegal things.
If you let
people will do illegal things.
If you let capitalism work how it's intended to work, if you start a business and you fail, someone else picks up the ball, they take that business, they reinvest, whatever it may be. That's part of capitalism. You make your bet, you own it. The problem is a lot of these guys don't want to do that. They want free government money, and they want to privatize the profits and socialize the losses. And you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't take advantage of socialized money and then say all the profits got to be privatized and I don't want to pay any taxes.
But you're telling me that Robinhood got sued, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if they did something illegal, now they're getting called out for doing something illegal. Now they're going to have to pay the price for doing something illegal.
Listen, when that happened, you had all the news networks talking about how it was a bad investment. It's a horrible investment. You hear them saying about crypto, but I see people investing in crypto that are saying the same thing as far as banking entities. When it came to the GameStop thing, CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, all of them are in on it because they're all owned. And the reason why I could say that is because the reason behind the excitement, or a big part of the reason, was because the subreddit and the guy who ran Chewy.com was a very good CEO, resurrected that company. People were excited that he was coming over to GameStop, bought some shares into it, and then the board voted him in because his vision is to become the Amazon of video games. And in the video game space, it kind of lacks an outlet like that. Really, it's kind of splintered and fractured as far as where people are buying their video games outside of Xbox Game Pass. So there was a lot of real sentiment behind it why it should be a good stock. When you buy a stock, you're saying it's going to be a stock. There's public sentiment out there. It's going to be a bad stock, and you let it play out. But when you shut it off because it's going higher than what you want it to go, that's rigging the system. And there was many players besides Robinhood.
I don't think that's rigging the system.
Absolutely, it is.
That's illegally, if it was illegal.
Robinhood didn't turn off the trading. They took it from their platform.
Right.
Okay.
It's not rigging it, it's stopping it.
Right. And then people that help break these laws.
Rigging it would be rigging something
before
something
happened. People that help break these laws, that people that are large business owners.
If they had a fail safe that once you got to a certain amount, it cuts you off, then that would be rigging it. It was rigged before you got there, just like you rig a carnival game where it will not pay out. But if they panicked because they saw that the system was doing what it was doing, that wasn't rigging it. That was them panicking and then shutting it off, and now they're going to have to pay the price for it.
Yeah, and then they charge a guy who made memes on Reddit for the whole debacle. Yeah.
Did he get charged for something?
Oh yeah.
What did he get charged for?
Oh yeah. The Securities and Exchange Commission charged 2 traders with engaging in illegal so-called wash trading of meme stocks. That's right. They call them meme stocks.
Okay. What is illegal? If it's something illegal, then yes, they should be charged.
It's not illegal.
Okay, but then if it's not illegal, then how were they charged?
Because you don't think that happens? You don't think people get charged where they shouldn't be charged or something? That's
no,
why there's
people
court.
get charged for stuff that they shouldn't get charged for all the time, but you have to be told what you're getting charged for.
Doesn't make it right.
No, it doesn't. But if you're charged for something, if a police officer says you were charged with such and such, they have to give you what you did that was illegal. So what was illegal that they did that they're saying they did?
They're saying that they manipulated the market in a short term.
So is that illegal to do?
No.
If it's not illegal to do, then you can't charge them.
So is it illegal to report the news? Yes, you can. You're so out of touch on this. So
How am I out of touch?
Is it illegal? Is it illegal to report the news?
If something isn't illegal, you can't be charged
yes,
for it.
Yes, you can. What are you
How
talking
can you
about?
be charged for something you weren't?
Have you ever heard of a
illegal?
court case being dismissed by a judge?
Yes, it's been dismissed
All
for
right,
other
do you know why that happens?
If something isn't
do you
illegal,
know why that
you
happens?
can't be charged.
You know why that happens? Because the judge then deems that it wasn't lawful. But you still can be charged and you still can be picked up.
A judge cannot come to a judge. An officer, anybody cannot come to you. You say, what am I being charged for? And they say, you walked with your right foot instead of your left foot. And then you say, well, that's not illegal. And they say, well, I'm charging you anyway.
We're not talking Rick and Morty here. Listen, that definitely happens. We're talking about real things, not doing the hokey pokey. So, if I'll give you an example, right?
Please do. I'm so confused.
Julian Assange, this might be controversial. He's locked up right now in U.S. custody because they said he released government secrets.
Yes, and if you release government secrets, I'm sure that is illegal.
Right, but if
that's illegal, so you can be charged for it.
Wait, and this is where you know what the fuck you're talking about. If you're a reporter, which WikiLeaks was, and you were given, which he was, the data, you are allowed to report it. I can give you precedent for this.
No.
Yes, you are. Wait, stop. So you never heard of the Vietnam papers? You never heard about that? You've never heard of things of that nature that's been leaked and New York Times reported it? And he went to jail for that, and this is why they're having trouble prosecuting him. This is why he was able to hide in the embassy, because he did not. How did he possess these secrets? You, as a U.S. government, cannot say, oh, well, I'm sorry, they can. My apologies. They can say, oh, you stole secrets. That's not what happened. Why has he only been? How come that hasn't happened so far? How come he hasn't been fully charged?
I don't know the full story. I do know that giving away government intel that is labeled as a certain degree of secret,
right?
Is
if you're
illegal.
an employee, right, or if you have access to that, right?
I don't know the full length of the law, so I can't.
He's
tell
a
you.
Reporter. He's not a government employee.
I would have to read up on it. But if there was something that he did that wasn't illegal, then you. But go ahead.
If the law decides to interpret that, that's why you need a lawyer. If the law decides to interpret that this is the crime you committed, and then you have to get your lawyer to defend and say, no, I didn't commit that crime.
Right, but it has to be a crime. You could say I'm guilty or not guilty, but it has to be a crime. You're saying you're not guilty or guilty of the crime being put against you. If what the crime was is not a crime, then you can't be held on it.
They can use a crime that,
They can't just make up a crime and be like, poof, new crime.
That's
You're
not what I'm
charged
saying.
with the new crime.
You
that
can
just,
charge
poof.
someone with something else. And
They
then
say,
can be
look at
found
this
not guilty.
hand over
Mike,
here.
No
and
one's
the new
saying you
crime.
can make up a charge. Follow me here. I'm saying you can be charged with a crime that you're not guilty of, that they're accusing you of.
Yes, you can be charged with a crime that you're not guilty of.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what we're saying, and that's what happens
So
all the
but
time.
that's why I asked you. So we started with the Robin Hood thing where I said to you, well, is that illegal? And you said no, and I said he can't be charged with something that's not illegal.
It's illegal. See, that's the thing. It's in the gray area. It's illegal to stop trading when it only benefits one side for that. It's gone the other way.
I don't think you have your facts correct, but okay.
I absolutely do. I remember.
Because
I was here.
You can't have there's not an illegal law where it's only illegal if this happens, but not.
What are you talking about? If they are paying so the Securities and Exchange Commissions aren't paying the actual money out.
I don't think so. I'm going to go with you, but I don't think you've got your facts straight. I don't know the facts because I did not research this before.
So the whole point of this whole thing is that if you want the system to work for you, great. But when the system asks you to pay it back, you should fucking pay it back. Am I saying that he should be taxed out of his ass? No. Am I saying he should be paying his fair share like everybody else? Yeah. That's pretty much all I'm saying.
It's a personal decision if you want to do it. I don't fault
a personal decision if you want to pay taxes or not?
No, a personal decision if you want to personally pay it back. If you're paying the taxes that is required of you and you're not breaking the law by paying the taxes that are required by you, then you're not doing anything wrong.
Slavery wasn't against the law at a certain point, too. Does that make that all right?
What's that?
Just because it's not against the law at that time does not make it okay.
No, and I'm sure that 20 or 30 years from now we'll look back on this day and be like, damn, that wasn't okay. We shouldn't have been doing that. But you can only go and abide by the laws and regulations
so here we go.
that society gives you in the time frame that you're living.
As I said before, over the period of 2014 to 2018, Musk's wealth grew by $13.9 billion, right? Good for him. We were just talking about that earlier. So the true tax rate is less than a tenth of 37% Musk would need to pay if his wealth was considered income. However, Musk's gains in net worth come mainly from massive stakes in SpaceX, as we talked about before. Now the world's most valuable car maker. Musk receives a vast amount of stock awards from Tesla as compensation. Not his fault. But under the current federal tax code, he doesn't need to pay any tax until those assets are sold or capital gains are otherwise realized. 2018, Musk paid no federal income tax. So because I'm not making my money through stocks, which was definitely influenced and definitely made to operate that way so guys like this can take advantage of it. Was he the designer? No. Is he taking advantage of what's in place? Yes. That doesn't make it right. The notion that high-worth individuals use that tax code to their advantage to pay minimal income tax is nothing new. By ProPublica's reporting, which draws on more than 15 years of Internal Revenue Service data, and this isn't just Elon Musk, by the way, on thousands of the country's wealthiest people, sheds light on exactly how much Musk and others fork over in taxes each year and how much income they actually report. ProPublica did not publish its source or data to disclose how the information was obtained. Musk did not respond for questions, ProPublica replying with only a question mark. So that's what he said to him. A judge ordered Tesla to turn over documents related to his $55 billion compensation plan. So the trove of information shows the investments, stocks, trades, income, and other key data points about the wealth of billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Rupert Murdoch, the asshole who owns Fox. ProPublica compared the amount that these billionaires paid in federal income tax to the amount that their net worth grew over a certain period to develop what it dubbed their true tax rate. In reality, taxes are paid based on earned income, which doesn't include stock awards or the appreciation of investments, which it should. But, okay, fine. So they get to circumvent paying taxes, and I don't because I work a real job, 9 to 5, right? So that's the American way. In no other country is that acceptable. I don't know how much they should pay in tax. I don't know if it should be 1%, 2%, 10%, 12%. I know it shouldn't be 0%. And, some people say they're job makers. Well, Elon Musk is, there's not that many Elon Musks out there. There's plenty of people that just sit on money that aren't creating jobs, that aren't doing anything. The reason why they had higher income tax rates or, and I'm not advocating for that, or corporate tax rates back in the day is because what you do as a company when you get taxed is you reinvest that money. How do you reinvest it? Well, I'm going to give you an example. Electric bills, anybody know that that's capped, right? They can only make so much off you on electricity, right? You guys know that? Everybody knows that's capped, right? It's a utility. So if it's capped, what do electric companies do? They're allowed to make as much as they want, but they can't. So what can they do? They can only have a certain amount of profits. They reinvest it. Infrastructure, I know one electric company that was reinvested in a fish farm. Now, do whatever you want with it, but the reason that was done that way is so you can invest. Now, if people want to better themselves, and guys like Jeff Bezos want to get rich, that's fine. If you want to fly around in a space rocket shaped like a cock, be my guest if that's going to be your legacy. But at the end of the day, guys like Jeff Bezos have a choice to make. What will be your legacy? Will you be known for that? That you flew around in a dildo? Or will you be known for lifting people up out of poverty? Or keeping people in poverty? Should he give everybody $1 million? No. But one thing that he can do, that he fought tooth and nail, and he's not at the company anymore, and his company still does, he could allow people to unionize at his workspace and not union bust. Allow people to bargain. Allow them to bring themselves up from the depths if they choose to be in that union. But they spend billions, hundreds of millions of dollars, trying to suppress people from unionizing. Now, some people may be pro-union. They may not. They may be against it. But I feel that's a way where you can let people better themselves without getting in the way. Is it not? Is there anything wrong with unionizing? I didn't think so. That's not what I was brought up to believe. But every year, every decade that goes by, these guys work to make the unions weaker. Because if you look at data in the United States, the middle class was the strongest when the unions had as high as member of participation. I know a guy that used to be a consultant for union busting. He didn't call it that, but he lived across from Allen Iverson before he pissed all his money away the first time. And that's how rich this guy was. His job was to go into a company and prevent unions from forming. Why would a company do that? You know, and I guess in the United States, everything is okay as long as we're making an extra dollar, right? And that's where we're starting to eat ourselves from within, because you can say that, you can live by that philosophy, but people are pissed the fuck off because they're not getting their fair share. And when I say fair share, I'm not talking about extra. I'm talking about being able to live with dignity. You know, raise your family, buy a house. You know, the American dream used to be you buy a house, you pass it on to the next generation, they buy a house, they double their worth, and so on and so on. But that's starting to disappear in this country. Why is that? You know, the idea that it's okay as long as you're doubling up your profit, it's going to go away because people are going to show up with their fucking pitchforks at these guys' places. There's only so many of them, and there's a lot more of us. And that's what's going to really happen because it's starting to happen. People are pissed off. Don't you see people on the streets getting mad? You know, I see people get mad all the time, and I look at them like, that's not what they're really mad about. You know, it's frustration boiling over, and it was the one thing that hit their tipping point. And to me, if I got to pay my fair share, so do they. So I don't have the ability as a citizen to donate to a politician that's wildly influential, millions of dollars, so he can write a law that enables me a loophole to get out the taxes. So if we're going to have taxes, I want you to feel my fucking pain too. That's all. It's only fair. You're going to make money off the whole, you know, land. You're going to farm the profit, but you know, you don't want to help rebuild the country. Where are these billionaires when it's time for them to be a patriot? Why don't they take, instead of $9 billion, maybe take $7 billion and keep the fucking factory in the United States? Because you can't tell me, I've seen towns, I've driven through towns, I've seen it, that were ghost towns, that were once a profitable engine, you know, of that community. And it takes years for it to come out, and then these people are pissed off because that's why you hear terms like the Rust Belt. Oh, the factory's gone. Well, these products are still being made, so where'd the factory go? Oh, that's right. There was free trade agreements. And who did the free trade agreements benefit? It's definitely not the people like you or me. So, yeah, they may be working the system. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make it right. And people want to hide behind laws and, oh, I'm only doing it because, you know, this is, you know, part of what the system is and what it does. That's bullshit. That's chicken shit. And people are tired of it. And this is why people are pissed off. You got, oh, Christmas might not happen because, you know, the supply chain's messed up. Supply chain's messed up because the fucking supply chain, 80% of it's outside of the country. And then people say, well, the reason why you got to do that is so you have good prices. Oh my God, the prices went up and it's still being made cheaply. How the fuck did that work out? I guess that theory just went down the shitter, didn't it? And it's the truth. You know, if we're going to be transparent about the economy, I always hear, like during the pandemic, I heard, oh, American Airlines, they need to get these subsidies so they don't go to business. You know, That's bullshit. Because what happens if they went out of business, they would go bankrupt, it would get liquidated, and they would get reformed, and someone else would buy that company. The reason why they say that is because they're covering the asses of hedge funds, which was part of the stimulus package. Yeah, some of those guys got help. It's just we focus on these big things that people talk about, and they're like, they don't want the rich to be taxed. They don't want, some people get involved in that, and you can have your philosophy and have your own train of thought on that. That's fine. Everybody else, they might have a different thought, yes or no, but at the end of the day, the rubber meets the road at a certain point, and the lies burn up. And that's what's going on here. The lies are starting to burn up. There's no way that someone should be able to make that much money and not have to pay something. Come up with a flat tax. Come up with a small tax. If I have to get taxed for, if I make over $600 on a 1099 job and now I have to report it, that's bullshit. So do you want people to show up to work? Maybe you shouldn't be fucking them like that too, because the IRS is sure as hell going to send that guy a letter or girl or whoever. So why can't this guy get a letter? But, oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He's bought someone off. So that's why. So to me, they're never, ever going to pass this bill. It's never going to have it in there. And it's a shell of what it was. There won't be a tax on the rich. And things will continue on as they will, because we're always looking at the division issues. But at the end of the day, if you really want shit to change, you need to focus on thyself. And where that translates to politics, if you're a voter or part of a party, you need to focus on who's coming out of your party instead of saying, hey, I'm going to vote for you because you're just the other person. And with that being said, this is the Godfrey, not saying goodbye, just saying take it deep.